Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to today's press conference. The Bulldogs will open their home schedule and their Southern Conference schedule this Saturday at 4 o'clock here at Johnson Haygood Stadium against ETSU. Here to talk about the Bulldogs, head coach Brent Thompson.
Thank you, John. Thank you, guys. Good afternoon. Appreciate you guys coming out. Talk a little bit about Campbell last week, and the bottom line is this: I said it Saturday after the game. I'll reiterate it again, and I don't even know. I had to explain it again to my guys, and I think I've got to do a better job of coaching my guys up on this as well, because we're not quite getting it. We're not playing football on our terms right now. We're not dictating the game. We're not dictating the pace of the game. We show signs of doing a lot of things really well. We drove the ball for the first two drives extremely well, but we got 3 points out of it. We just penalties, missed assignments, those kind of things haunt us and creep up on us. Campbell's a very good football team. They're fast, they're athletic, they're big, they're strong. But that doesn't mean that they're unbeatable. That just means that we've got to play a certain way. And that's not just this week. That's next week. That's the week after that. That's the way that you got to win here. And unfortunately, we didn't do that last week. So I've got to impart on my guys every single day from here on for the rest of the season that, hey, penalties, turnovers, time of possession, all those things are going to really start to make a difference. You look at us in the second half, defense plays well. We give them the ball 2 times inside the 50. They get 6 points out of it. I thought that's what we need to do to win. That's playing Citadel football. That's being opportunistic on our end. We're just not scoring enough, not driving the ball enough, not staying out of the penalties. If we can do those things, we'll be just fine. So I've got hope we can do it. I've seen it. I've seen spurts of it. We're going to be just fine. We've just got to stay the course and just continue to get better at it, and I've got to do a better job of emphasizing it. This week's going to be no different. ETSU's a good team. They beat a Marshall team, and just watching Marshall play, I thought Marshall's a good Division II SAC team. They've got some talented players, especially on the defensive side. Marshall turned it over a little bit, didn't do a good enough job on special teams, and certain things they let them get behind them on. But other than that, I thought Marshall played them fairly well. But ETSU is talented. They are still got a lot of guys returning from the championship team from last year. But we're at home. We've got our opportunities. We've just got to play our game, and we've got to have more play on our terms more than anything else. I thought Peyton played. I got Peyton here with me today. I thought Peyton played well, managed the ball game extremely well. He's going to get better. He's going to get better as he learns our offense, made some really nice checks, did some things to give us opportunities to score, and threw a nice ball at the end that I thought helped us out there. Defensively, the first 2 drives, really, if we don't give up the scramble on the first drive, I thought we hung in there a little bit longer. And second drive, I thought they wore us down a little bit. They ran the ball. The big running back was pretty good. But from there on out, I thought we played extremely well on defense. Just had to be a little bit more opportunistic on offense. The tide really turned in the third quarter for us on Thursday night when we turned the ball over early in the drive. We needed a good drive right there and go down and score and make it a 1-possession game. So, but that's the way it went. We'll be just fine. We're moving on from it, and we're getting ready to open up the Southern Conference schedule at home. And our first home opener, which will be nice. I know we've got a good crowd coming. We've got a lot of tickets sold, and there'll be a lot of people here. So looking forward to seeing the fans, looking forward to getting back out there, and looking forward to having another opportunity this week against the Southern Conference team. Questions?
Brent, I know Wilson left Thursday's game.
Yeah.
What's his status?
Wilson will not be able to play for the rest of the season, unfortunately. Wilson had 7 tackles. I thought he was playing really, really well. You look at him on film, he played extremely well, and it was just nothing more than just an awkward landing on it. He got twisted around a little bit, an awkward landing on it. Unfortunately, we'll be losing him for the season.
What was it?
An injury to the leg.
Do you feel good, or do you feel safe with the guys that were behind him?
We do. We're going to move some things around. We've got some options there, and that's where a lot of our 5th years, this is what we had kind of planned on, not necessarily this happening, but if we took an injury in the secondary, Chris Beverly can move over. Trayvon Wallace has been playing well for us. He can fill in back there. Carson Walter and Caleb DeVoe was a 5th-year player for us. All those guys are going to fill in some form or fashion in different packages into that role.
Finishing drives, how do you do that?
Yeah, I talked about it with the offensive staff yesterday, and I thought maybe we needed to script longer drives in practice. We had a 15-play drive and a 13-play drive that yielded us 3 points. If we can convert those two to 2 touchdowns right there, that's a different ballgame. We had possession time of 36 minutes on the day. I think we had almost 15 minutes in a couple of those drives right there. We can put those drives together. Maybe it's our conditioning level, and those are the things that we're trying to impart on the offensive guys. We had a false start. We had one false start. We had one missed assignment on one of those drives, and then we had another false start on another drive. So that's 3 drives right there that actually killed us. We were 2 for 3 on 4th down, so we were converting our 4th downs pretty well, and the one was the missed assignment.
Is there, I don't know how to ask this. What gives you hope? What gives you hope that things, that you're going to be able to finish off the drive? Is there something that you saw maybe Thursday night that think, we're close to where we need to be?
Yeah, number one is penalties. If we can eliminate the false start penalties and the holding penalties, Peyton throws a good football there, and we get a holding penalty. We've dug ourselves out of the hole at that point. We had a holding penalty on the perimeter right there that set us right back into the hole that we were just before the half there. So we did enough things. We just couldn't stay on track. We couldn't stay on track offensively at all. But what gives me hope is you take the first possession and you drive it all the way down, and I think we got set back by negative yardage play there, but Colby Kittner comes through and kicks a field goal for us, which is good. I mean, that's a good sign. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. It's a lot more mental than physical, and we certainly didn't win the field position game. We lost the field position by 10 yards. Our average starting field position was the 25. Theirs was the 35. That's hidden yardage right there. If we can get some of that yardage back, I think that'll help you out. We also took 2 penalties that were critical in the special teams. One was a 15-yarder, and the other one was a 5-yarder on a false start and a personal foul.
Peyton sitting right here. What did he do well? What did he?
Thought he made some really good checks. I thought he ran the offense extremely well. Well, the one thing that he and I spoke about after on Saturday's practice, and that was finding out he was wearing a red jersey all fall, is where the gaps are going to be, how to get downhill, how to get more vertical. I thought he did a good job of avoiding taking big hits in there, knowing where to run, and making really good checks.
What does he need to?
We need to work the passing game. We certainly need to work the passing game a little bit more probably from the protection side of things. We need to get our protection straight, and if we can do that, give him a little bit more time so that way he can see the field more.
When you look at ETSU, obviously they return, the SoCon preseason quarterback and running back on the first team. How big of a challenge is defending both the quarterback and the running back?
I'll say this: the running back, we got to get him tackled up. We got to keep him in close spaces. Once he gets out into the open space, and he had a 40-yarder against Marcel this past week. I think if you can keep him in close spaces, you got a better chance against him. Same thing with the quarterback. It's not necessarily keeping him in the pocket as it is. It's just keeping his eyes on the rush as best as possible. So it's really going to come down to our rush and how much we can hold up in the secondary. Throws a good ball. He's got some really good receivers. He's got one receiver I thought that showed up really well against Marcel this past week. So really for us, it's just going to be about playing our game and controlling the run game first, and then we can move on and controlling the quarterback.
And a new head coach in Johnson City, he comes from Berman. Do you expect kind of the same tendencies when he's in Greenville, or are they a little different?
It's a little mixture of both. You could see a little bit of a mixture in the things that they did at Furman. You could see a little bit of a mixture of what the offensive coordinators brought from Slippery Rock. Peyton will make a very good one. He's a smart quarterback. He's got a good understanding of the offense, and I think he does well with the guys around him. He's a pretty good leader out there on the field. Just for a guy to step into a situation and become the starting quarterback at a brand new school, a school that was in the conference, just says a lot about who he is and what he is. He's a good guy. He gets along really well with the guys, and I think he could fit in anywhere, which is important because you got to fit in on different staffs. Nah, we'll see. Depends on how well he finishes here.
I believe y'all didn't score a touchdown in the fourth quarter. Right?
Correct.
How critical in a game, especially against ETSU? I mean, how much pressure is there to score early?
Well, there's always going to be pressure to score early. what we may need to think about doing is maybe taking the ball earlier and trying to get an opportunity to be able to get the first points on the board. But certainly is. We had our opportunities to do it, and we just didn't for one reason or another. When you string 15 plays together and you can't put it in the end zone, that's you need to get a little bit more explosive. But what we were trying to do was set up the perimeter game, which we were able to get some perimeter plays late in the day. The problem is the perimeter, they were really fast and they were really athletic. They walked you down pretty quickly out there. So yeah, we need to go ahead. We need to go ahead and down there and try to drive it earlier, put some more points on the board, especially when we get down to the 10 to 15 yard line. I certainly don't like kicking field goals down there, but the fourth down was just too far for us to get, so we had to kick it. So I think it will be extremely important to try to get some points on the board early.
You're placing those interior offensive linemen. How do you
Well, I'll tell you this, is we were set back a little bit in the third quarter when the center went out. And we had to mix and match a few guys in there. The guard, Zach Blanchard, went and played center. We put two true freshmen in at the left guard spot, and we moved the left guard over to the right guard. So we shuffled a lot of things around. I thought they did an okay job in there. It was just different than in the first half. You have a different continuity. Those five guys have been playing all camp together. And when Mike went out, unfortunately, it just left us in a big void, especially in a bad spot at the center spot. But Zach does a good job. He comes in. We don't have fumbled snaps. We operated fairly, for the most part, clean. We just couldn't get as much movement in there as we had with the previous starting five guys in there. But we think Mike will be back. Mike will have a chance to come back this week, and we should be back to our original starting five. If not, we're still working with this current lineup, and we'll try to improve these guys and have Sawyer, the true freshman, getting that much better. Sawyer Whitman. All right, I'll bring up Peyton.
How you guys doing?
I have a question for Peyton. When you took your last snap in the last game last year, did you ever think you'd take another one?
I did not. I remember playing North Carolina, seeing my family, and had a little, moment with being done with football officially. So I thought, it's wild. It's been wild. I'm glad I made this decision. I appreciate the staff giving me this opportunity, and I knew it'd be worth it for sure.
And where else did you drop off your resume?
I sent an email just about any team that had a football team. So any school had a football team. Nick Saban probably got an email from me, but I just went around making pit stops everywhere. Luckily, being from Conway, this wasn't that far of a drive, so came in person. It was everywhere. I tried to get on anywhere I could, and had some connections from the SoCon, some previous coaches, so that helped a lot.
Did you think this is where you would end up, or coaching-wise, or did you know?
No, I always liked the Citadel. Always liked Coach Thompson. I respected the staff. We played them well every time we played them. I knew there was a connection from Coach Ayers, Coach Lang, some of those coaches I was really close with. So they weren't specifically on my radar, but I knew if it was somewhere like that, I'd jump at the bit to be on the staff like here.
Man, just talk about how you went from a GA to a quarterback.
So it was a pretty quick transition. I think I was actually going through Georgetown on the way back to Conway when I got the call.
You interviewed here, you talked to him, or no, you never talked to him?
I came to watch practice. Felt like it went well. Felt like I was going to get the job.
Did you talk to Coach?
Talked to Coach Thompson. Okay. Talked to Coach Connie, the offensive coordinator. I'd actually talked to Dominique Allen, who was getting promoted, and I was going to replace his position. Talked about kind of the day-to-day activities. Felt really good about it. Felt like, okay, I'm probably going to get the job. And I'm going through Georgetown, and I get a call saying, hey, we actually have something interesting to talk to you about. And so it was just a matter of coincidence that Jalen had just entered the portal. they didn't know I had an extra year to play. I put it on my resume just in case it helped me job-wise get a job, but was definitely not leading with that, in the conversation. But, it just happened like that. And so, I was willing to do it, and I've enjoyed it so far, and we need to win some games. So.
Does that know when things are going to come up?
Yep.
Did you think about that?
Yeah, 100%. That's how I explain it to people, kind of the Spark Notes version of what happened, just Zeb knowing entirely. So had a couple of discounts in the hardware section, so still got my orange vest. So
Was that here or was that in Conway?
it was up at in Conway, yes sir. Yeah.
I guess your first game under center Thursday night, how would you rate your performance?
I thought I played well. I think I need to play better, of course. Cam was a really good team, physical, really big. Had a bunch of old guys on defense, which that's the nature of the beast in SoCon. You can get old players, and it's just, they're a team. You got to pitch a really good game. You can't really make a bunch of mental errors, and a team like that's good to see early, but yet again, if they're that good, you have to play pretty well, and it's hard to do that first game of the year. So I think I played well. I have some things to improve on. Mentally, I think I made some good checks, good adjustments. But like I said, they're too good to make easy mistakes.
With you having played in the SoCon at your previous stop, how much do you think that will help you now here at Citadel?
I think it helps a lot. I've seen these same defenses for 3 or 4 years, so that helps a lot. Coach Taylor at ETSU does a great job. Runs a very familiar defense, so it's a good when you go into a game knowing what you're going to see, hopefully. And so, no, it's definitely an advantage seeing different defensive coordinators over and over again.
How much different is the Wofford offense from this offense?
So it kind of evolved differently. By the time I got to Wofford, it was very similar. And by the time I left Wofford, it had changed tremendously. That was just the direction they wanted to go. And so there was a familiarity when I came down here. That was part of the reason I thought, okay, I have a pretty good chance to get this job because I know some of the same plays and some same system. But no, there is definitely some overlap, but it took a while to learn the whole new thing, verbiage mostly, calling stuff different things. But no, it was an advantage coming in with that experience.
Last year's game, 4 touchdowns, 180 something. Give the defensive guy a little hard time about that. Coach, hard time now.
No, Dominic Poole gives me a hard time for that overtime play, breaking up that last overtime play. But other than that, no, I mean the defenses they've been great in camp. They've improved a lot. That's how camp usually is. Defense always jumps out ahead of the offense, and that's just about anywhere you go. But no, I'm excited for our defense. I think ETSU is a good offense, but nothing better than we've seen before.
What's the adjustment been like, just being an upperclassman, having to come in here with a bunch of guys who already know each other, and then having to now lead the whole team?
It's been a little different. I think that's kind of the thing Citadel usually deals with fifth years coming in is transitioning, not being a cadet, not having to be a knob. So there's definitely some camaraderie from being a cadet and going through that stuff together, just like anything. I think I've adjusted well. I think the players have accepted me pretty well. That was a main focus during the summer, was getting close with them, because it's hard to spend 4 or 5 years with people and you get that close and that tight with people, and then someone new that didn't go through the same stuff you did. So, but it's been good. It's been well. I've adjusted well.
In case we don't get to talk to you before you go up to Boone, I know that your career started at App State. Have you thought much about going back up to Boone?
Yeah, a lot. I played in pretty much every SoCon school ever, but no, yeah, I've thought about it a lot. I sent them a resume, try to get them a job up there too. So I know Coach Clark pretty well. A lot of that same staff was there when I went to school there, but most of them left, went to Louisville. But no, I look forward to going up there. I'd be lying if I said that wasn't a good reason to play this last year, to get to play them one more time. But no, I look forward to it a lot.
Any other questions? Thank you very much. Thanks, Peyton.
Thank you.